Tonight, a grand final like no other, all in readiness for AFL's big night. We're live inside the ground.
Also, an accused drink driving mum slams her car into a dog wash van in Pennington. What happened next? The exclusive pictures.
Adelaide's mobile vaccination clinics, how the jab can come to you at work.
What SA firefighters are doing now to prevent a bushfire catastrophe this season.
And Adelaide dog owners warned about an alarming spike in pet poisonings.
Live from Adelaide, 7 News with Rosanna Mangiarelli and Mike Smithson.
Good evening. It wasn't the grand final so many South Australians had hoped for, but nonetheless, it's shaping up to be a decider like no other.
Sure is. 60,000 spectators are tonight filing into Perth's Optus Stadium for the premiership clash between the Demons and the Bulldogs.
Mark Soderstrom's at the ground tonight, and Soda, what a season, what an unbelievable build-up.
Rosanna, I've got to say, it is absolutely brilliant, and everyone in Perth, well, they have done a superb job hosting here. Now, like us in South Australia, Western Australians absolutely love their footy from both the sides. I've got to say, it is just amazing here.
Thanks, Soda. We're green with envy back here, I can tell you. Back home, the easing of COVID restrictions here has made grand final celebrations just that little bit sweeter.
Gertie Spurling's at the Edinburgh Hotel, and Gertie, the timing couldn't be better for hospitality venues.
Rosanna, it's a huge win for patrons too. If you're watching the footy in a beer garden like this one, you'll be able to enjoy a drink while standing, and it's made for a more relaxed atmosphere, which will certainly help footy fans really get into tonight's game. As for the grand final forecast, it'll be around 22 degrees in Perth for the first bounce, a little bit cooler here in Adelaide this evening. I'll have the details soon, guys.
Thank you, Gertie. And tickets for next Sunday's SANFL Grand Final at Adelaide Oval go on sale Monday at 10 a.m. Just like the AFL prelim, it's expected 26,500 fans will be allowed in to watch the Eagles take on Glenelg for the Premiership Cup.
Security cameras have captured the moment a Western Suburbs mum slammed into a mobile dog wash while allegedly drunk and with her toddler in the back seat. But the 31-year-old didn't hang around for police. Her bizarre antics recorded by stunned witnesses.
What the woman behind the wheel lacks in judgment, she makes up for in attitude.
Excuse me, I have my lawyer coming here right now.
Lauren Rose, 7 News.
An elderly man has died in hospital after being struck by an SUV at West Croydon yesterday afternoon. Police closed city-bound lanes of Port Road for 2 hours while they investigated the accident near the corner of Minnie Street. The 90-year-old pedestrian was taken to the Royal Adelaide with critical injuries but died overnight.
7 News can reveal the COVID vaccine rollout's next stop will be workplaces. For those who can't get to a clinic, well, the clinic will come to you with some of the state's biggest employers on board.
Not a vaccine clinic, but a tea room. These team members at Drake's have had the COVID jab brought to them. Tim Hatfield, 7 News.
3 boys aged 14 and 15 have been arrested after allegedly breaking into a family home at Wynvale early this morning. Police say they grabbed a set of car keys and stole a Toyota Kluger while the occupants were asleep.
The driver of a luxury sedan has some explaining to do after ploughing through the Britannia roundabout. The Audi mowed down several signs and pedestrian barriers before being dumped in a nearby side street early this morning. When police arrived, the driver was nowhere to be seen. And a man from Surrey Downs is in strife after taking his go-kart for a spin through northern suburb streets. At one point, it even ended up on the Phillip Highway. Police say the driver, who's unlicensed, had been drinking and returned a positive drug test. The go-kart has been impounded.
Scott Morrison has secured the support of world leaders to take more action in countering China's rise in the Indo-Pacific. The Prime Minister sat down with the Quad Alliance today, wrapping up a week of crucial meetings in the United States.
4 leaders of 4 very different countries, but on the challenge of China, they're 4 of a kind. At the White House, Mark Riley, 7 News.
And political editor Mark Riley will ask the tough questions in an exclusive one-on-one with the Prime Minister in Washington on Weekend Sunrise tomorrow.
Motorists on busy crossroad got a shock this morning when they had to dodge two large kangaroos casually weaving their way through the traffic. Fortunately, drivers slowed down to avoid hitting the skippies as they bounded to Kings Park. Police were called, but by then the elusive roos had disappeared. Travelling all right too.
Doing all right. Let's move to sport now, and we are almost there, Bruce.
Rosie, I could say that I lost interest 2 weeks ago, but I actually am looking forward to the grand final a great deal. It's going to be an absolute ripper. I'm still trying to work out who I'm actually going to barrack for tonight. Coming up, we'll get the last word from both sides ahead of another historic day in Australian sport. The Bays march into this year's AFL Grand Final while a South young gun shines, and the Aussies deliver yet again in a one-day thriller against India.
This Sport Report brought to you by Ladbrokes, making racing even more exciting.
Welcome back as we build up to tonight's AFL Grand Final between the Bulldogs and Melbourne. Let's cross back to Mark Soderstrom in Perth. And Soda, are there any late changes?
Well, Abba, all clear at this stage for both clubs. The scene is set. It is just magnificent. Perth has done a brilliant job. Now, we know the D's probably go in as slight favourites. Well, Abba, it is all ready to go here. This is the sort of environment where you blitzed as a Port Adelaide player many, many times. You know what it's like. Stick around because straight after news, we will have Sevens telecast. Have a fantastic time watching it, mate. It is brilliant here, Abba.
You have a great time, so to look after yourself. In the Sanford, Glenelg will join the Eagles in next week's grand final after beating South Adelaide by 18 points. The Bays look comfortable for the majority of the game, while for South, a club legend said goodbye and a young gun showed why he'll be a star in the AFL. Not bad. For tonight, that is our sport, of course. The AFL Grand Final, Smitho, coming up after this. I've decided I'm going for Melbourne. They're the fairy tale. The Bulldogs had their fairy tale in 2016 and it's been a long, long way for D's fans, so good luck to them.
And Rosanna?
D's. Yep.
Bulldogs for me, just. Thanks, Bruce. Don't go away. We'll have the weather next with Gertie.
Well, time for the weather now.
And Gertie, it's a cool evening for tens of thousands of footy fans out and about tonight.
It is, guys, but the good news is there'll be no rain to dampen the celebrations. Right now it's 14 degrees. We hit a top of 17.6 around 2:30 this afternoon. The low was 7.2, and there was the odd drizzle across the suburbs early this morning and along southern coast too. It reached 16 degrees in Edithburg, 14 in Kingscote. A high pressure system will be centred over the Tasman tomorrow. A trough of low pressure will move over from the far west on Monday before another high clears and calms conditions. Interstate, an early shower or two for Brisbane, 24's the top. Showers and 18 for Sydney, mostly sunny and 15 for Melbourne. Back home, cold at first with areas of frost over inland parts, then a dry and mostly sunny day. Cooper Pedy is heading for a top of 28, 26 for Roxby Downs, 18 for Port Lincoln, 25 for Port Augusta, 21 for Kadina, 18 for Clare, 21 for Murray Bridge, 19 for Victor, 17 for Narracourt, and strong winds are forecast about the far west. In the city, down to 5 degrees, 20's the top. On metro waters, east to southeasterly winds will tend east to northeasterly, then become variable. Warming to the mid-20s on Monday, a touch cooler Tuesday, then a change arrives Wednesday, a shower or two and 19 the top, with showers lingering till this time next week. Guys, enjoy the footy tonight. I'm backing the D's.
Good on you, Gertie. Well, Rosie, that's all the news to now.
It sure is. Stay with us as we go live to Perth for the AFL Grand Final, of course, between the Demons and the Doggies.
So from all the Adelaide 7 News team, enjoy the big match. It's good night.
Good night.